Hey everyone, welcome back to the course. In this lecture, we are going to implement patch method using Apex REST. So in our previous lecture, we have implemented get, we implemented post, we also implemented delete, but how we can use patch method? Patch method is basically used to update a record. So what we are going to implement in this lecture is we are going to get the information, or we can say the consumer which is consuming our API will be sending the account record ID in the URI, and the consumer will also sending the information to update the account record. And what we have to do is we have to get the ID and then update the information related that account. So what we need to do is we again need to implement this. So without making a further delay, let's quickly start. We are working in the we are working with the class account manager, which again we are going to use here. And before we proceed, these are the test user credentials that we can use to log in into this environment and get the access to the code. So again, till now we created three methods. One is for getting the account information, and another one is for creating an account, and then we have, in the last lecture, we learned how we can delete with all the error handlings. Now we have to create another method which will be annotated as http patch, and this will again be a global static. And let's say that we are going to say account record here. We are going to return the account information what we are going to send here, and we will say update account. As this is a patch method, this will accept some parameters. So let's quickly say we are getting account rating, we are getting SEC numbers as well, and we are getting account description. So these are the three parameters that we are getting here. So what we need to do is, first thing, we have to get the ID, get the account ID from the URI. So we will say get the account ID from the URI, and we already used, or we already saw how we can get from the previous lecture. That's why we are just using those here. And then next is what we need to do is we need to prepare account record and update the update that information. So we will say that prepare account record. Now to prepare, again we need to use account. We can say that account record here. Let's say that new account ID. What ID we are getting from the URI, it will be this, and then we have got a rating. So it will be rating, whatever rating we are getting, and do the same for account number and description as well. So now we have prepared the account record, and we need to update that account record. So we all know that to make an update DML, we just need to put a single line which is update and the information that we wanted to update, and using return statement we can return the account record what we just updated. But what if the ID that user is sending is not there inside our Salesforce environment? Then what we will do? In that case, what we need to do is, first we need to get the account record. So what we will do here is we will make a SOQL query here. We will say that account list. Why we are using list? Again, we don't want to get into the error that is S object has no rows for assignment. That's why we are only querying account ID, saying that select ID from account, where ID in the variable that we have, which is account ID, and we will put a check on this list. If this list is not null and size is greater than 0, that means we have at least one account record, and then we are good to go and update the record. If not, again we can return, or we can say that we did not found any record. So let's quickly say here, now inside that we need to do this. So what we have got is this. Now what we need to do is, let's quickly prepare a blank record here. We will say account record. Now here we are preparing, and we are returning this account record. Even if there is no account record, it is going to return a blank account record, and we can tell the consumer as if there is a blank response from our method, that means there is no existing account into the system. Or based on their request, we can also change the request type or a return type to our method to a wrapper class, where we can create some parameters saying that this parameter will contains the information either account has been updated, or there is some kind of error, or there is some issues that the account doesn't exist into the system. So but we are not going to take care on that thing, but this is what we are going to take care. Now let's quickly get back to our Salesforce record. We have got this account which we are going to update. Going to use Workbench again. We have this URL, put the account ID and select patch method from here. What we need to do is we need to pass a body here, and our body contains three parameters. One is for rating, other one is account number. So if you see here, we don't have, yep, we do have account number like this. We will change it to another number and we will see. So rating, we are saying that cold. Account number, we are saying that cold Udemy 2020. And then description, what we are going to say is we don't have we have description for this account number, like there are some random strings, but we wanted to provide a valid description. I will say here, we can say here updated based on, let's say that it was updated based on some kind of request. So we can provide some random number as a request saying that updated based on this particular request. Now let's quickly hit execute, and we are getting error. Let's quickly verify what information we are sending. We're sending rating. Okay, we forgot to put a colon here because this request is a JSON in a JSON format, and JSON will always accept key and value. So we got an error here. Now if we execute, you can see we are getting that record has been updated and the record we got here. If we quickly get back and try to check our code, try to check our account record, we are getting description, we are getting rating, and we are getting account number as well. Now let's quickly try to send some account ID which doesn't exist into the system and try to execute this. We are getting 200, but the information we are getting is nothing. We don't have any information. The request or whatever we are getting as a return type is null. That means there is no ID. But yeah, definitely we can make the changes, or we can use wrapper class, or let's quickly do that. So we can say that global class response wrapper. We can have two records here. So what we can have is we can have global account, which will, okay, this should be account, we can say it should be ACC record, and then we can have one string type of variable. We will say that message. And now let's quickly change the return type of our method, saying that return type should be wrapper. Now what we need to do is we need to prepare a wrapper here. We will say wrapper, and there are two things. If the account record exists after updating, let's say that ACC record equal to this particular record that we just prepared, and we have got one more variable, that is message. We will say that account record updated, and if there is nothing, in case of else, what we can do is we can prepare we can use this variable only. Account record will always be null. We can say that account record not found, and then we can remove the rest of part here. So let's quickly save this. Legal conversion from account manager dot response wrapper at line 36. Okay, it will be returning our wrapper class instead of account record. Yeah, we are good. Now let's quickly try to again make a request here. This time I will make some change here. I will again put the account ID here. Account number will also be an account ID. Let's quickly make the rating change as well to hot. Execute this. We are getting account record updated, which is a message, and account record we are getting. Now let's quickly put this account ID, execute this. See here, we are getting account record not found. So this is how we can handle the response which we are sending to the consumer, or consumer is a third party system which is consuming our API. So this is it for Apex REST, how you can write the different methods, and in the next lecture we will see few more additional changes that we can make. So this is it for this lecture. Thank you.